Hello everyone! This plant here is a succulent plant called Talinum triangulare, which is a wonderful vegetable that is very commonly used in some tropical countries like the Philippines and many African countries. It is actually native to Brazil. But not only in many tropical countries where it can be grown very easily in gardens, but also in temperate climate countries where it can be easily grown in greenhouses, so just as a house pot plant. It is not known at all, which makes it very popular vegetable in some countries while totally underutilized in generally all over the world. Yep. It's a big shame because this vegetable has a lot to offer. First of all, it's very tasty. It has mild taste, it has lovely texture, it's juicy, it's quite crunchy. Those leaves are a bit thick. Also, it is very healthy, highly nutritious stuff. You can read about its medicinal uses on my article on my blog about this plant. Talinum triangulare is good for diabetes and high blood pressure. It is also very good for people with stomach ulcers, as its rich mucilage content can help prevent or help to heal the ulcers of the stomach. And also, if you have some sores on your skin, you can just mash the leaves and apply it. The paste of smashed talinum leaves can be also very helpful in inflammatory skin conditions caused by allergies or some chemical irritation. So these are its tiny seed pods and seed capsules, and when it's ready, it's starting to bend down. So you see this one upward going is not ripe yet, and this one is facing down. If you just squeeze it very slightly, it's opening, and you have its tiny seeds. Yep, ready to be sown. Yep, but talinum is so easy to be propagated by stems, cuttings, that you don't really need to bother about the seeds. Just take a small piece of stem, put it in the soil, and it will grow roots in no time. Really wonderful vegetable. Consider the fact how easy it is to grow and propagate and storage, good taste, high nutritious value. This plant really deserves to be known worldwide, not just in a few tropical countries, but really worldwide, as even in not non-tropical countries with cold winters, it can be really great crop to be cultivated in greenhouses or individually as a house plant. Yep. And of course, if you live in temperate climate country, you can keep it over the winter in a pot, but during the warm months you can just put it to your garden. Yep. Really great. One of my favorite. In Europe, I never heard about it. I never seen it in any encyclopedia about herbs, about medicinal plants, and what's worse, even about vegetables. So this is really highly underutilized vegetable as it comes worldwide, and even here in the Philippines. Although it is quite commonly known vegetable, many people still don't know about it, and it is really highly very hard to see it to be sold on the markets. It's barely ever you can see the stems to be sold as a vegetable on the markets, which is really shame, because you can see on those vegetable markets lots of vegetables that spoil wield very badly within just a few hours, while Talinum can be stored really well for a few days. Yep. So, yep. Highly underutilized, even in those tropical countries that it is already cultivated. It still deserves much more attention. The knowledge about it should be spread. This is really a great crop. As you can see, young stems of Talinum are soft, so you can eat it whole tops of stems. So you can eat it fresh, you can put it in sandwiches, you can eat it in salads, but you can also cook it. You can use it in cooking in many ways. You can add it to soups, you can use it for stir fries, or literally anything you want. The leaves are quite rich in mucilage, so if you add a lot of it to soup, you chop it and add it, then this mucilage will come out of the leaves and it will act as a soup thickener. One of the great advantages of the plant is that it is really great for storage. If you cut the whole stem like this, you can keep it in room temperature for many days and it will not wilt. So that's given to all advantages of that plant. And the reason why in few African countries it is a very popular crop is that Talinum, as a succulent plant, is highly drought resistant. Yep. So this adds to its many virtues. But if you want to have a good harvest, you need to water it regularly. Water it regularly, but never in excess, because as a succulent plant, its roots might start to rot if there will be waterlogged soil. Talinum is very easy in cultivation. You can propagate it through seeds or through cuttings, and if you just take even a very small piece of stem, put it in the soil, it will put roots almost immediately. This is really so easy to propagate by cuttings, and it's perennial. So you can keep those plants and just harvest young stems. Oh, for your individual use, you can actually harvest only the leaves. You can leave the stems, but for commercial use, the whole stems, young stems on the tops are picked, while the rest of the plant can rest and regrow, and one plant can be used for many years. But actually the young plants have more robust growth in general. So on plantations, usually the plants, older plants are removed after a few months, maybe maximum 2 years, to be replaced by newer plants. So the young plants, either from seeds or usually just from the stems, are planted to replace the older one that start to produce new leaves more slowly. So here you can see actually the maximum height of Talinum triangulare, as usually it reaches less than 1 meter in height. But as you can see, it can grow quite wide, especially if you will be picking the tops. Then it will spread wider and not be growing tall.